So the top question we have gotten from parents and that I want to ask you is, with the kids' COVID vaccine being so new, how do we know it's safe for our kids, and is there a risk of any long-term side effects?
Sure. So first, we always like to point out that the COVID-19 vaccine is an important part of our arsenal and probably the most important one to help keep our kids safe. And what we have learned through these last couple of years is that the benefits of getting vaccinated far outweigh the consequences of getting COVID-19. And it's important to understand that yes, 2 years has gone by relatively, sometimes really slow, sometimes really fast. And a vaccine appeared on the market within a 2-year time period, whereas the other traditional vaccines that kids get, our polio, our tetanus, all these other things, seem to take time, long periods of time in testing and trials. One of the things with this particular virus we learned early on is that it was almost identical to a platform that had been used for the last 30 years. So when the scientists saw the virus that causes COVID-19, they realized it's almost a match for something we've been working on for 30 years. Wow. So we were 30 years, almost like a 30-year head start. And then we just added to it. So it's important for parents to understand that this is not new. We built on over 30 years of research, and then we were able to take it to the finish line. So one thing to keep in mind is that our kids were not given the short shift with this at all. That the COVID-19 vaccine trials for the kids went through not only the same as the adults, they actually went longer. So if you remember when the vaccine for the adults came out, one of the first questions was, well, how can we get something? When can we get something for our kids? Well, the reason why the kids trials took longer is because we wanted to make sure this is safe. Our kids are our most precious resource. And so the kids trials went through extra safety to make sure, are we missing anything? Can we really safely use this with our kids? And so that's why their trials took longer. And for the moms of the little ones, as I call them, the 0 to 5, and we're patiently waiting and waiting and waiting, it's because we really want to make sure that they get the safest vaccine possible.
Oh, that's so good to hear and very comforting. Absolutely very comforting. The main side effect that we hear a lot from parents, and I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, is specifically about the fertility.
Yes.
Can you dispel that myth or that misinformation?
Sure. So here's what we've learned from this process. We've learned that, again, the disease itself has actually been associated with decreased fertility in men. So if you get COVID-19, we've seen male fertility drop off pretty impressively. What we've also seen is that women who went through the process, even as being testing the vaccines, there were women who got pregnant, who were vaccinated, and they had great pregnancy outcomes. They had healthy babies. We saw that women and persons who became pregnant who did not have the vaccine and they got pregnant, they had worse pregnancy outcomes. So the vaccine is not causing the bad outcomes, it's the disease itself. And so pregnant persons were part of the trials. Pregnant persons have gone on to have healthy outcomes. So the vaccine is not causing any fertility problems. They're getting pregnant while being vaccinated.